Well, it's Saturday. Out here it's about 12:18 p.m. and I'm just checking in. How you doing? Wow. Life is really a trip. The things that we think are real or the things that we think are important are so amazing to me because we put value in stuff that's just not even real at best. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you know what I mean. So I'm sitting here and it is Saturday afternoon and we have to get ready for tomorrow, which is the Sabbath, and I just thought I would check in on you. Jen G, hi, Princess. So, like I said, it's just a really, really casual day, a casual conversation. L78, how are you, Princess? And I just wanted to say that sometimes we do. Again, just a regular standard conversation. And I'm trying to tell everybody in the house, I'm live. All of you guys be quiet. So when you hear me do that click in the background, hey, how's it going, Rachel? You're hearing me click and I stay gone for like a half a second. I'm like, I'm live. Close the door up there. Yeah, but today is just a really easygoing conversation. I don't have anything in front of me. I've got no notes. I don't have a direction of where this is going to go. And so I just love, coming in here chatting with y'all. And I'm glad you just love hearing my voice. That's a sweet thing. Sandy, how are you? I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times we as human beings put stock in stuff that just don't have, it has absolutely no value. You know what I mean? We put things in a particular place and we put stuff on a specific level. I don't think I want that like that. I was trying to make the phone where it did not ring. But then it goes if I pull it down too low. So forgive me if it rings. But you got family, you've got friends, you've got loved ones. You're trying to share with them the good news. You're trying to talk to them about good stuff. You're trying to ring them in basically. And a lot of times some of that stuff doesn't work. And so when you're talking to those people that they just sort of shut it out, you find out that what they have value in is the stuff that has no value at all, like money and especially the paper stuff that folds. You find out that they have value in what people think of them, stuff that won't get them into glory. You find they have, you know, hinged their entire existence on being seen or being heard or being known or being chosen. And sometimes that stuff really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It is. Sandy says, it's like talking to a stump. I mean, it is. Have you ever really done that? Have you ever really gone out in nature and just sat there? And you're not necessarily talking to the trees or the grass, but for whatever reason, you seem to be the most transparent when you're in that setting. When you're just sitting out there in nature and just thoughts come out and you feel so free and so confident to be able to talk about those things, to be able to say those things. You know what I'm saying? It's like at that point you feel like, I have nothing to lose. It's just me. It's just the trees. And so you begin to talk and you begin to share and you begin to think about life itself. But when you're talking to those people that you love and you're trying to help and you're trying to bring them into truth and you're trying to give them information, and maybe you've got some quantifiable documentation you can give them, or maybe you just have a dream or feeling that you've had in your gut that may line up with something that's going on in the day, and they want to tell you about what another human being says. And say, for example, you're bringing something from the Bible or the word that's been really, really, really really impactful, and maybe you've discovered some truth based on your study, and maybe you want to tell somebody, hey, you know what, I've been studying on this or I've been asking Yah to show me this or show me that, and whoa, look what he showed me. And we get a little excited because we're expecting that person that we love to really be on the same page because of our excitement or our adulation about the topic. Marty Lauderdale, Princess, how are you? And so a lot of times when we get in those places and we find out that they've only listened to be polite, that they've only listened to hear your point of view or let you feel as if you've been listened to, and then later you find that they've made the opposite decision, even though you've equipped them with knowledge and you've equipped them with even documents, or if it's scriptural based, then the scripture. And maybe you've even broken it down to the etymology of the word that they're talking about. You give them all of that, and then you see that they have made a grave decision that can be life-changing, life-shattering. Maybe you've given them documentation on a narcissist and what a narcissistic person or trait or characteristic is. Maybe you've, found out some interesting information that applied to your life because now you're excited, right? You're giving them all of this stuff about a narcissist and what he or she can do to their personality or to their life, or how they can go down from, from wherever they started. You give them that information, and then they send you an invitation a month later to this wedding that they're marrying the narcissist. Well, now you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I am, Marty. I'm feeling so much better, Princess. You know what I mean? It's okay. I love you guys. And you're sitting there and you're like, wow, didn't I just talk to her? And now you're feeling bad because you're like, oh, gee whiz. I was talking about the narcissistic person that was in my life that had been revealed to me. And I wanted to share with everybody the freedom that I now experience because I got rid of that narcissist. And now you're scratching your head and you're wondering, oh, MG, did she think I was talking about the guy that she met? Because I know, based on some of the things she said to me, well, that he's a narcissist. And so now you're second guessing yourself and you're thinking about the information that you've given. But then you get mad. You're like, well, gee whiz, I did give her that information. Then you're starting to wonder because now you're really double guessing yourself. Did she tell him that's what I think? Are we going to have problems for the next, 5 or 6 years or 10 years or maybe however long they're going to be married? I mean, for goodness sakes, this is my first cousin, my best friend, my sister. Of course she's not going to get rid of me. So that means this narcissist is going to be in her life forever. Hence, he or she is going to be in my life. You start thinking like that. But the information that we give, that we've really, honestly, seriously been thinking of, that we've contemplated, that we've talked to the Father about ad nauseum sometimes. This information, once he gives us the truth, we really do want to run with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, you're on the football field and it's your first time ever getting your hand on that football and you imagine it in your mind. You get it in your mind and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I know exactly what to do with this ball now. But beforehand, you're thinking, if I ever get my hands on the ball, I'm going to do this and I'm going to run with it like this and I'm going to tuck it. One of my grandsons showed me how he would tuck the ball if he ever got it. And how he would go. But what he and everybody else does not think about is the hits that you're going to get before you ever get to the goal. Before you ever get down there up underneath that beautiful H-shape frame. You never think about how many times cats on the other team are going to knock you out. Or how many of those times you got to do real fancy footwork and, you know what I mean, move around real good, twist and twirl, as if you were on the dance floor. You're twisting, you're twirling, you're on that turf and you're getting it. But you're not thinking while you're imagining what you would do if you ever got that ball. You're not thinking, hey, what if the big cat gets me? With my grandson, we talk about number 52. Because number 52 for my grandson was an eye awakening thing. He got on the field after all the training, after all the games, after the scrimmages and after the other games that they had that were the, regular games. They get to this place and there's some big old corn-fed brothers. And number 52 was by far the biggest. Number 52 actually looked like somebody's dwarfed father. Can I say that? Number 52 made all the parents stand up and go, whose daddy is that in that uniform out there with our babies? Who's gargantuan? What? This gigantic gad-shaped cat. Who is this little boy? All the mothers are screaming, we need to see somebody's birth certificate. We're asking the coach, do you see the size of that kid? Well, the ones that were up under him were huge as well, but they were not as big as number 52. My grandson had practiced all in his mind how he would feel if he got the ball. Well, for whatever reason, they go up to the line. Number 52 is literally standing in front of my grandson. And as they go down and they're standing there, they're standing there and they go down. Number 52 approached my grandson, and out of nowhere, he decided, I'm out of here, and lays down on the ground. Before number 52 could get him. Number 52 tapped him before he could get in. Before he got real good into that tap, he just said, that's it, I'm out. So when he gets out the field, he goes, did you see the size of that guy, grandmother? I said, yes, baby. I saw the size of that guy. And he constantly talks about number 52. We have a lot of number 52s in our lives that as we go through life's twists and turns and twirls and fancy footwork, that we never take account of. But prior to seeing number 52, he was sort of confident that if he ever got his hands on the ball, this is how he was going to make his way to the line. And this is how he would celebrate making it to the line. And this is the dance that he's going to do when he makes it to that line. When I get the million, this is the dance that I'm going to do. When I get the million, these are the family members that I'm going to help. When I get the million, this is the modest car or modest cottage that I'm going to get. But no one ever thinks about what it takes to get to that goal and the adversity that you will go through before getting to that goal. Nobody. Some of us have that adversity built into us. Some of us just quit before we start, like my grandson did. When he saw the cat coming, he just said, forget it, I'm done. This is life. If this is life, I don't want anything to do with it. Let me just go right now. Let me just lay down. Play dead. Act like you don't see anybody. You don't see, nobody sees you. You see? So that's how you feel. Just lay down. Some of us have that built into us. Just lay down. Just give up. And there are some cuckoo birds like, myself that'll say, nah, I'm ready to rumble. As I get comfortable in this chair and people go out of the door in the house because, well, people live here. Sometimes I put my finger on that button and I say, shut up, be quiet, I'm live. And I want them to conform to my way because I'm live. But then again, aren't they alive? So when we go through and we see the goal and we know what we have to go through, I guess what I really want to say is don't forget the number 52s. Don't forget the 52s are there. When things look like things are going great and you're making your way. Say, for example, they weren't even looking for you to come up, but you, for whatever reason, came up on a nugget and you got your hand on that ball and you are rolling. You rolling. Life is the ball, right? You're rolling. And as you're rolling and as you're going down, nobody is suspecting Nobody suspects that you are literally the person with the ball. Well, because they're so used to seeing everybody else with the ball, right? Your family members are used to seeing, the first cousin who always made it, and that how everybody reminds you, mama reminds you, your dad reminds you, your grandmama reminds you that first cousin was always the one to make it. And wow, why can't you be more like your first cousin? They didn't expect you to get the ball. They didn't expect you to get that knowledge. They didn't expect you to get that wisdom. They didn't expect you to get that information. And that's the reason why when you bring them information that has truth, they're not going to take it from you. Because they're used to that other person having, quote, that knowledge. They're used to that other person having, quote, that information. And you, what do you know? Didn't you used to get high all the time? Weren't you the person that got a little lit at the last family reunion and, well, they had to sort of pour you into the car and let your Uncle Bubba drive you down to the house? Aren't you the person who messed up in high school and you got pregnant and they had to send you to go live with your Aunt Kathy down south, hide you for a few months? Aren't you that person? Aren't you the guy who got your girlfriend pregnant when you were in high school and you had to stop going to high school to go get a regular job because you were told that the man is supposed to do the best that he can for a family, and so at 17 years old now you are a father and all you learned how to do was fix cars and you're working down at the mechanic shop? You got dreams to have your own, but aren't you that guy? How could you have information? How could you have anything worth value? How could you know any information worth any value? Well, we're looking at your past. We're looking at your life. And yet you keep your eye on the goal. You feel a little bad because they did make some valid points. Then you begin to second guess the information that you're passing or helping them with or sharing with them about that narcissist or about that, company that maybe they should think twice about because it hit you and you thought about it. Or maybe you found that scripture. Maybe you got the answer to the question that everybody had the last time you were all together at the family gathering and somebody posed the question that caused the quietness that was the deafening sound of silence. Made everybody sort of tilt their head like their golden retriever and look up at the sky, look up at the ceiling. Then everybody sort of broke the silence when one of the kids came in the room and it was back to the eggnog and coffee. Everybody went, but you held on to that thought. And at that point, you were in the quest to answer that question that was posed at the family gathering. And then all of a sudden, eureka, you strike gold. You get the answer. And then you take it to everybody and no one believes you. And one by one, those people who would soon be victim to the things you shared with them are dropping like flies. And you're getting calls from people saying, the narcissist hit her so hard, now she's at the hospital and we're all gathered here together at the hospital. So if you can come down, that will be good. And you're thinking to yourself, all the way there to the hospital, I warned her. I told her what I discovered. I tried to share it with her. She wouldn't listen. And she made the mistake of telling him about what you had seen months before they got married. A month before they sent out their invitations, pretty and shiny. And your parents were very, very careful to remind you that she found a good guy. And look at the beautiful wedding photos. And, while everybody is sitting there while they're dancing around, you know the truth, but you're going, hey, it's free cake. It's free champagne. And now she's in the hospital. And now all of the family is surrounding her. And now everybody is saying, why didn't you tell us that this was going on? And you say, but I warned her. I didn't know I was warning her, but I did tell her. I was just telling her what I discovered, and that's the reason why I stopped dating Bob. But I did tell her. As a matter of fact, my aunt was there. Auntie, weren't you there? Remember the day when I was telling you about what happened and how I found this document and how I found out what this scientist or this doctor said about narcissism or what this counselor said? Don't you remember you were there when I told her? Yeah, I know. But it's too late now because now your cousin is sitting in ICU and everybody is gathered around hoping that she can recover from the swelling that's on her brain, hoping that she can recover. They're hoping that the guy that did it stays away and that they lock him away for a long time because he's dangerous. They're hoping that. Yeah, you had information. You had information. And the information doesn't necessarily have to be dealing with that while number 52 is hitting you while you're trying to get to the goal. It could be the fact that, yeah, you are the guy that got your girlfriend pregnant at 17. And now you do know how to fix cars because you had to drop out and you were always good with your hands. And you were always the guy that used to take down the mini bike. You would break it down to its nth degree, to the very last nut. You would break that motorbike down. You would break that thing down, that moped or that mini bike, or you would break it down. And you were like that, always inquisitive. You would tear down stuff, only to put it back together again. So you messed up. And everybody knows you are the mess up in the family because they always remind you that you're not like your cousin Gary, who did everything right all the time, who always got the A's and B's, who got the prettiest girl in high school, who went to college and graduated, who married the prettiest girl that he met in high school. Nobody ever lets you live it down. And so now you've got the ball and you're headed to the goal, and you're trying to figure out while headed to the goal how you can bring to fruition this mechanic shop. You make the mistake of telling anybody, I'm here to tell you right now, that you're going to have a few number 52s that stop you before you get to that goal. Yeah, you are. Because that's number 52's job, is to appear so big, so menacing, and so, yeah, that he makes you just lay down and stop. It's almost like he knows you, right? It's almost like he's studied you. It's almost like somebody may have given him the tapes to the previous games that you've been involved in. And he's got his sights on you. The little cat that didn't finish high school, but got his girlfriend pregnant at 17, but had the nerve to be a decent guy and marry her. You and her, you guys are trying your hardest. Now you're 25 years old, and you got your eye on the goal of opening up your own mechanic shops because you were that same kid that Gary's mom and them used to bring the lawnmower over to. See, Gary wasn't good with his hands. You were. And at 12 years old, his daddy and his mom and them used to bring the lawnmower over to you. And unlike Gary, you sort of thought the chick was cute. You guys really literally fell in love with each other, and you did what you did, and she got pregnant, and now you are on the field and you're running with that idea. But you a bad brother. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You know why? Because not only did you fix the cars at the mechanic shop while you got that ball, you thought of another way that you can make some outside money. So you went to Vistaprints and you made yourself some independent cards. Yes, you did. And those cards, you passed them around whenever you got to the grocery store. See, you always had a good mouthpiece on. You could always talk up. It's how she got pregnant, because you was that dude. So you pass out your cards at the grocery store. Whenever you're at the pharmacy, you're passing out your cards. Hey, sir, if you ever need anything, anybody to work on that Dodge truck, sir, I can help you. Here go my card. Yeah, you that dude. You that cat. You got an entrepreneurial mindset. 17, dropped out of school to take care of the baby that you and this young lady who now trying. Dropped out so you can be that dude, so you can be that man. But here come number 52. But you pretty quick with it. Your feet, you got that fancy footwork. Yes, you do. And as you have that fancy footwork and you moving to that goal line, you making your grocery list off that money that you got off them little Vistaprint cards. You got your first 99 for free, first 100 cards for free, and you done passed them out. And because you know you ain't got enough money to even get the next set that they're going to charge you for, you offer 5% off on the back of that card you done set up one night and wrote down 5% extra if you refer a friend, because you know you can't get no more cards. But you got that mind. So you're taking that money and you're setting it to the side, and that's your groceries because you don't want her working. That's your light bill because you don't want her working. You've fixed and fashioned a way to get to the goal. That person is you, sir. And you are a success at what you do. Even though the family looks at Gary, who's always played it safe. Even though the family looks at Gary, who went ahead, had the same girlfriend, graduated from high school, graduated from college, married her, lived in that beautiful little house that he called you last summer to fix the furnace on because you're good with your hands, but you ain't as good as Gary to the family. He played it safe. But just 5 years after the third child, Gary and that girl from high school get divorced. And now Gary is on the field with you. And here come number 52. Here comes number 52. And because number 52 is on the same field with you and Gary, now everybody wants you to go help Gary. Everybody wants you to go help Gary. So life takes the twists, takes the turns. It pulls them out, pulls every stop out at you. And you guys that are here in the chat right now today, you guys are the ones that have superseded everybody's doubt. You guys have gone beyond their doubts and you've made it. No, you may not have that fancy house that Gary had. You may not. You may not. But you didn't have that mortgage he did either. See, you were smart enough. You took that fixer-upper and you decided, hey, I'm good with my hands. I can fix a lot of this. And you did just that. You fixed it. You got it up and running. So this is just that chat. We just chilling. We just talking. Ain't nothing planned. There's nothing, nothing planned. Nothing written down. Matter of fact, I only have the mouse pad in front of me. And of course, my cup of coffee. But I have nothing to really, tell you that's extra profound except that you're not crazy. Everybody is listening to you, you think, until they make the opposite decision, even though you've given them pamphlets and documents and information. And they want to tell you that no, they wanted to listen to the other people because they looked like they were a success. Yeah. Yeah. So there are people that will come into our lives to just watch how we do things. Have you ever noticed that? They want to know how you're going to make it through this. Some of them don't even really care about what you're dealing with. Some of them want to listen to what it is you've got to say so they can run and take it and dissect it. They don't really care about what your philosophy is. And as a matter of fact, so they can get more information out of you, they pretend as if they have the same plight that you do in your life. You know this person. Y'all all know this person. You guys all know this person. This is the person that needs the extra hug all the time. This is the person that always needs to be heard, always needs to be seen, always needs to be reassured. So much so that they need to be reassured by the voice of strangers. I mean, that's how much they've been deprived or depleted in their lives. Something happened a long time ago with them. Something happened a long time ago, and you may hang out with them because you love them and you think they're such a nice person, and generally they probably are. But the deal is they're a very bad cancer. They are a cancer to you. They're a cancer to everybody that's around them. Because behind that smile, behind the nice flowery words, behind all of the accolades they give to you, as they bow before you like the court jester, their hand that's behind their back has 4 fingers that are crossed. Trippingly off the tongue, they flow with compliments of how grand and how awesome you are. And for the first time, you do give your right eyebrow a lift as you tip your head to see. Are they real? You wonder, are they real? That was the first check you got in your gut, and you should have realized that that first check in your gut was what Momo Nim called your knower. For whatever reason, you elected to just feel a little safe because, well, they're nice, they're benign, they're not a problem. Even though I felt that first check in my gut, there are no issues with them. They're fine. Only for you to find later that she has been stabbing you in the back, eyeing your spouse. You've been telling her, this person that you feel as if you can trust, you've been telling this person everything and all that they need to intervene in your marriage. Well, they've been playing 2 sides to the middle. You've been sharing with her your greatest fears. She starts the conversation with, "How's Tom?" You think it's just a general conversation. He's fine. "Well, I didn't see him at church last Sunday." "Yeah, well, he's okay. He's just going through some things. I don't think he agreed with what the pastor says, and so he's not been around a while. But he comes and goes. He comes, he did this last year. Yeah, I noticed that. So I'd ask you, why he wasn't there." So she's gathering all the information that she needs. She sees that there is a wedge. You love the pastor and you love the teaching. He doesn't agree, and so therefore she's going to use that. Oh, yeah, she is. Unbeknownst to you, you've actually given her all of the weaponry that she needs to stab you in the back. Something that you cherish so much that you worked to build, and you shared with an enemy without knowing your weaknesses and the weaknesses of something you cherish, your marriage. The next thing you know, she's giving him a call because, well, he knows how to take care of the bees that's outside of the back door. He can knock down this hive and get rid of them, or he can knock down the hornet's nest that's outside the back door. And my husband is gone for a minute. He had to go up to New York to go take care of X, Y, or Z. And so, do you think, she asks you, that he can come by here and get that out? I'm so afraid that something's going to happen to one of the kids. Then when he gets there, of course, she's dolled up. Okay. She got on her jeans and her high heel slip-on candies. She got on her waist-high jeans. Not the mom waist-highs. No. She got them sassy jeans on. She got the cute little top. Of course, after the 3rd child, you put on a couple of extra pounds. And she was very, very cognizant to mention that to you. But when he gets there to get that hornet's nest out that back door, she pours it on to him like ain't nobody's business, telling him how awesome it is that he knows how to do that. And hey, it's so good you were able to stop by. It is so wonderful to have a friend like you that knows how to do all this stuff. You are so smart, she says to him. Meanwhile, she's got some lemonade in there. She just so happened to make it. Would you like a glass of it? She asks him after he removes the hornet's nest. And he goes, well, yeah, sure, I guess I will. And she goes, gee, I tell you what, I'm really getting tired of a lot of the stuff that this pastor is saying. And now she's got it. She got his ear. Now they've got something in common. They've got a common enemy. They've got a common foe. Sure they do, because he then says, oh my goodness, I was just telling Patricia that. I can't stand him. I just think that he's just so full of himself. And she's sipping and listening. Yeah, I agree. She was just telling Patricia how wonderful and awesome he was. But because she's got Patricia's husband sitting right in her sights, she's now becoming everything that he wants Patricia to be. He wants Patricia to be agreeable with everything he says. He wants for Patricia to not go to that church when he has said to her how he feels and what he thinks he sees. And so therefore, Patricia is now a problem. He even tells the woman, I wish Patricia was more like you. I really wish that she would listen. Oh boy. So what happens? That first visit is a very benign one, but it was a fact-finding mission for your friend. Your friend found all the facts and everything that she needed. She found it all out. She found out what your weakness is. She found out how your husband thinks. And now she found out that all she got to do is say the right words. And she got your man. You don't understand how this whole situation went down, because 9 months has passed and your friend about to give birth. Her husband is excited because even though he had to work often and he was gone, they've been trying for their, next child for some time. At first he thought it was him. Her husband thinks, gee, I'm so glad she's pregnant. You guys are like, wow. All the ladies at the church are getting ready to have her baby shower. She's done had this baby shower. Everything is great. It's grand. It's all wonderful. But 9 months after the day you have her, rescued by your husband, 9 months, 3 weeks, she gives birth to a bouncing baby boy. Funny thing is, he's got a head full of dark black hair. And both of them, they're blonde. Hair as black as the night. Black as the night. Olive-colored skin. Beautiful, strong baby boy. Then it comes out that the husband's got fear. He's got fear that that child isn't his because his mama took a good look at him and found out. I don't think that baby's yours, she says to him. I don't think that baby's yours. Something, you better check on that. You better check on it. Why you say that? You better check on that. Mamas always know, don't they? Come to find out, it was not, and it is not, the man's child. Instead, your husband got a new baby. You set him up. You set the relationship up. Yes, you did. Because over time, you began to feed this person information showing them your weaknesses. You thought that you could trust this person. You thought you could trust them with the information. You really did. You thought that you had finally found a friend who really, truly, honestly understood you. You thought that you found somebody that you could confide in that would never, ever, ever tell the things that you had been thinking or the fears that you had had or all of the things. You thought that because this person's availability was such that they were always there, no matter what time, day or night you called her, you thought you had finally found somebody who was your friend. Now you find out that your friend is your baby daddy. Now you got a choice to make. Your friend ended up being number 52, but it did the sneak. Number 52 on the sneak. Number 52 on the sneak. While you were trying to be a good wife on that field, trying to make it to that goal, you were walking around oblivious to the fact that the person who closely resembles you with all of those flowery words, it wasn't an enemy, it wasn't a wolf, it wasn't, needless to say, it was not the snake, none of the above. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing, but it was none of the above. So you headed to the goal, and number 52 literally took your breath away. Number 52 hit you like a Mack truck right on the left side. Tossed you to the other, just tossed you out of bounds. Tossed you out of bounds. And while you're laying flat on your back, and everybody is standing over you telling you, get up, are you okay? Get up, get up, get up, are you all right? They got smelling salts under your nose. You had to reach way back in the recesses of your mind, flat on your back, out of bounds on that field. The away team is what you were a part of. You on their field. As you laying there, all of a sudden you hear your great grandmama say, girl, get up. The Lord ain't gonna put nothing on you that you can't take. He ain't gonna put more on you than you can handle. Get up. Everybody else is standing around because they don't hear your great grandmama. All they see is number 52 doing the dance over in the corner. Ha, 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 moving the fancy footwork. All they see is you flat on your back and they just ha, 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 number 52 dancing, doing it all like, yeah, I did that, I did that. Down went Frazier. Down went Frazier. You laying down there with these birds going around your head, and everybody is telling you, are you okay? And your grandmama, you hear her say it again, get up. The Lord ain't gonna put nothing on you that you can't handle. What don't kill you make you stronger. Get up. All of a sudden your eyes open. And you think to yourself, I got this. Yeah, I got this. You do something that's outrageous. You do something that's absolutely unheard of. You do something that everybody around you didn't believe you were going to do, told you the opposite of what you're going to do, and you stand up. And when you stand up, you go take the hand of your husband and you tell him you forgive him. And he, brokenhearted, embarrassed, disgusted with himself, sad, torn apart inside, can't even look at himself in the mirror anymore. He cannot believe your love and your compassion. And it all takes him back while he's standing there and he's looking at you. It takes him back to all of the word that he ever absorbed as a child. It takes him back to every scripture that his mama and grandmama taught him. All while he's looking in your eyes as his is filled with tears, filled with pain, filled with self-hatred. All he can think about is, there is a God. All he can think about is how he, over the past several months, has avoided this woman. How he has taken the time to change the phone number and you didn't even understand why he had done that. How he had made sure that the family was a little bit more close-knit and he didn't really want any more outside guests or visitors coming, and that he made himself so busy he couldn't go fix anybody else's toilet that was running repeatedly long. He couldn't go get nobody else's wasps' nests out of their back doors, and you were trying to figure out why he would not go and assist anybody. All the people knew that he knew how to do it, but he had made a way to prevent himself from going down that path again, but you did not know. But now he's standing there looking in your eyes, woman that you are, and he is saying, I ain't gonna mess this up no more. You didn't throw him away. You didn't treat him like trash. You are hurting. And number 52 is still on the sidelines dancing. You heard your great grandmama tell you to get up. What don't kill you make you stronger. Don't you worry, get up. And you got up. And when you did, you stood up the lady he fell in love with. Traits that no other woman had ever had. Traits that he knew was in you. Traits that would help save him. And you can fast forward to 30 years later, and you guys are celebrating an anniversary with all of your grandchildren and that baby right there to celebrate you. With all your children and that baby right there to celebrate you, because all of his seed has now learned to worship Yah. All because you got up off that sideline and didn't listen to what everybody else was telling you to do. All because you stood up and you held his hand. All because you could see the child in him that he was. You got 50 under your belt, sis. All because of number 52 thinking that she had you. So, in our lives, as we walk around today, we got to thank Yah for the number 52s that knock us out, lay us out on the sidelines and keep us there and lay us out. And those around us were giving us a couple of 2 or 3 things. We had the side that was saying, hey, you can do it. Get up. This the smelling salt. Come on. Some of them got tired and exhausted. And you were still laying down there. And they had been over there telling you, get up for the past, 5 years. Get up. And you didn't. That person left and they put somebody else in that person's place. And then the next person. And so on and so forth. But all of a sudden, you came to yourself. And now you headed to the goal. You've surpassed others that was on that same field. Number 52, well, she ended up doing that a couple of 2 or 3 more times. And now she sits in the living room, unfortunately, alone, Children don't call her. None of them get along because they all got different daddies. But she was on that same field. She's a chain smoker that sits there and watches old Maury Povich reruns on her television that has absolutely no internet connection. Not that that's a bad thing, but she watches it with a little antenna. A little antenna that just gets the stuff off analog. And she's a chain smoker that has to have her beer every morning, and they know her down at the corner store. And she tried to do it her way, and she tried to come up on the back of others. And everybody warned her, and everybody tried to tell her that the way she was leading her life was not a good thing. She didn't want to hear it because she was told somewhere by somebody that as long as you can switch it, and as long as you can lift those girls up high enough, almost to where you can put them right up under your chin and wear a top low enough and put on your slip-on candy high heels and your jeans that fit your waist just right, you can get any man you want. Where are they now, honey? Where are they? Where are they? They gave you such odd advice. Yeah. You want to know. You want to know where they are with all of the advice that they gave you, because now you are seriously sitting here every day watching the same reruns. Every day waiting for Maury Povich to go off, and you know that at 2 o'clock you're going to be able to watch a little old McHale's Navy, and after that, that's going to go off. You're going to see a little All in the Family. By 6 o'clock, you get up because it's about to be dark. You go back down to the corner store and you get yourself another 6-pack. They know you well. You get 2 more packs of cigarettes. You walk back down to the house just in time to catch the reruns of I Love Lucy. And about 10 o'clock after the night is over, you go to bed with the reruns of Carol Burnett. And you are waiting to die, waiting to leave. Because you took the wrong advice. And you thought that the goal wasn't necessarily on the field. You thought the goal was where you made it. You didn't understand. You didn't understand. You didn't understand. You thought that your beauty would never fade. That's what it is. You thought it would never, ever fade. And you're incorrect, because now you see that that beauty does indeed fade, and those hips do indeed spread, and those breasts do indeed sag, and your hair does indeed thin. That nobody wants a drunk, nobody wants a chain smoker, nobody knocks on your door anymore. No, nobody. Nobody comes and visits you. All the people who gave you the advice on how to get a man, they're all gone. They're down the street in the graveyard down the road. The other side is at the other graveyard on the other side down the road. And there's a few that have a little dementia, and they're still dancing in their mind to the 1960s music, because their advice was not wisdom. Their advice was not wisdom. Your greatest fear, number 52, is dying alone. And you do. And you do. Now, the children, they really didn't want to deal with you because they were sort of upset at the fact that they all had different last names, and most of them didn't even know where their father was. And then they did see the other cat with the lady from the church. They saw he was a part of the life, and she was a part of the life, and she welcomed that child pretty good. They don't like him too much. Your kids don't like him too much because he had somebody who was involved, and his daddy knew you wasn't nothing. And he went on with his wife and lived a life. But now the children that resented you most, the children that liked you least, come in with your remaining relatives and clean your house. Literally. All the stuff that you valued, your china. One person takes that. Somebody else goes and gets all of your silver. Somebody else goes and gets all of the water fur that you got. Somebody else goes and they get the hush furs that somebody gave you for your third child. Then somebody else goes into the house and, well, they go digging deep down into your file cabinet because unlike the other people who are pillaging and plundering through your things, while you lay cold on a slab inside of the coroner's office, inside of the morgue, they are plundering through your documentation so that they can subtly, just gently remove their family members' names off of what you left so they can take it all. They got a number 52. 2. They got a time. 2. They got a day. It's coming. But now everybody's in the house and they're taking everything, and they then take your body down to the church and they prop you up in the front and everybody gets up and they stand over you. You always wondered how this day would end up. You always wondered what would people say about you at that church that you found the majority of your Friday night dates from. What would everybody say about you while they stood over your body and looked down in the casket? You always wondered, and now that day is there. Let me tell you what they said. Some got up, and some said that you were such a sweet, gentle soul. Some got up and said that you had been a part of that church for several years, and even though they hadn't seen you in a couple of years, you were still a solid Christian, and that you were just so in love with the Lord. Some stood up and said, well, it looks like the Father has taken another angel from us. She was the best friend I ever had, even though you hadn't had a visitor in ages. But then, church doors open, and a woman approaches the podium that some feel like they've seen before. And let me tell you what happened. They thought that they had seen her before, but they couldn't put their finger on it because she and the family had moved several years before. And well, I'm going to tell you who it was. You remember the lady that you had the baby by her husband? You remember you called the husband and you guys sparked up a relationship based on that, the whole, the hornet's nest out in the back. Well, it was her. And she said, I know a lot of you may not remember me, and I know a lot of you may wonder, for those of you who do know who I am, why I decided to come today. And I want to tell you that the woman that lays before you right now is a woman who changed my life. She changed my heart. Because of her actions and the things that she did to me, she let me have the biggest view of what compassion and what love could be. And because of her, I have lived the last 30 years in love and compassion and travel and fun, and we've had the best time that we could ever have as a family. As a matter of fact, she gave me a gift, a beautiful, beautiful little boy who grew up to become a wonderful man. Because of her, I have learned to survive through things that I never thought that I could. Because of her, I've become the best wife that I could ever be, and the best mother that I could ever dream of being, and the best grandmother because of her. And so I'm here to say today, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Number 52. So today I'm just checking in on you. Today I'm just checking in on you. Today I just want to see, how are you guys doing? How has life been? How has life treated you? How? How have you treated life in return? That's the question, y'all. How is life today? Are the things that we're dealing with individually any different than they were 20 years ago for others, 50 years ago for others? Is what we're dealing with now and today any different than the eve of 1819, the eve of 1719, the eve of 1919? Is what we're dealing with any different? Is that the number 52 from then? Is this the number 52 from 2019? Haven't you seen this before, you guys? Don't knock yourself because you're not what somebody else thinks you should be. You are wonderful and perfect just the way that you are. Every experience that you went through, if you did it with grace and humility, is exactly the experience that you were supposed to live through so that you could become refined, so that you could become better, so that you could later learn to show compassion to others. Every single thing that you have ever gone through has helped to shape you on life's path and on the field of life as you head to your goal. There's going to be a lot of turbulence. There's going to be a lot of hits to your left, hits to your right. But just like any good ball player, you tuck that which is valuable underneath your side. Keep it real close to you, right? Tuck down that head and run. As you go through and you get to the goal, you'll look back and it'll be 20 years that have passed by, and all of the successes that you were looking for, you've absolutely made it. But what you gotta do is you gotta remember that this thing is going to hit you and it's going to throw everything that it can at you. But there is an end game. And at the end of the game, you either win or you back there on the on the receiving end of a whooping. So you got to get up and you got to run. And you got to run it with patience. You got to run. You got to know that the storm of 1719, 1819, 1919, 2019 is exactly the same storm that it will be in 2029. It's the same exact storm. Don't allow yourself to be sidelined or to be derailed by anybody that attempts to take you off your game, no matter what your game is. Are you the best chef? Are you the best mother? Are you the best whatever it is? You need to continue to be that and know that those things are going to attempt to make you hard. They're going to attempt some things that hit you. They're going to attempt to take your life away, to make you unhappy, to make you all balled up and shriveled. And then you want to act out the way people have harmed you, and you want to act that out because nobody paid attention to you, nobody talked to you, nobody said hello to you, nobody greeted you, nobody said anything to you, and so now you want to be hateful, now you want to be mean. If you be like that, baby, you not gonna make it to that goal. Guarantee you that if number 52 did hit you and you ended up flat on your back with your toes sitting straight up like the bad witch, you ain't gonna make it up. There ain't no smelling salts for you. Mama ain't coming to you saying get up. Because she told your mama she didn't think your mama was raising you right in the first place. So the last nice thing she said to you was the last nice thing she said to you. Don't allow life's bitter things to turn you into a troll or a witch. Don't allow life's turns to turn you into a bitter brute and an unkind man. Do not allow the things that happen to you, that have happened to several others, to change you and to turn you into somebody that you will be ashamed of, that you can only think about and cry to yourself in the shower about. Don't do it. It is easy for you to render railing for railing. It is easy. It is easy. It is easy, and it doesn't take any strength to do that. It takes you absolutely no strength and no power, no mental fortitude for you to render an eye for an eye. But I submit that a brother or a sister who can stand up erect like any Greek god, straight and erect, back straight up, take you some strength. People have crapped on you. They've spit at you. They've told you was going to be nothing. But you did not respond that way. You took what they said and you went and did research to make yourself better. So today, I submit that I'm going to be better. They question your integrity. They question your motives, when all you tried to do was extend love and impart that information that we talked about at the top of this hour. All you tried to do was give information. You tried to share with them love. You tried to tell them about the word. You tried to tell them about the information that you gleaned. You tried to stop your cousin from ending up in the ICU because of the hands of a narcissist. You talked to her and her mama, your auntie. You did it all. You told them all the information. All you tried to do was give love and truth. That's all you've ever done. But today, I submit that it's going to make you stronger. Every dagger that was put in your back gonna make you stronger. Every time they kicked you at your ankles and you fell down and you got back up, it's gonna make you stronger. When they send you all of them disconnect notices, boo-boo, it's gonna make you stronger. When you got to figure out how you gonna take care of your bills because you had to leave school at 17 and raise a baby and marry your girlfriend and did not get to finish college and high school like your cousin Gary did, it's gonna make you better. It's gonna make you a better entrepreneur, brother. It's gonna make you stronger when you get out there and you got to deal with these cats that look down their nose at you when they got to go bring their same vehicle to you to fix it. You gonna know who you are. You that dude who can fix that vehicle. You that dude who took the money, you took them little Vistaprint cards and did a side hustle with your regular hustle to keep the groceries on the table, to keep your wife at the house. You that brother. You the brother that's a success because you meant to do every single thing you did. You are going to be all right, but stay humble. Stay kind, because everybody gonna look down at you. But baby, at the end of the day, the number 52s of your life are laying on the field. Big old fat has-beens. Every muscle that they used to have, even though they sat there and they looked exactly like a Greek god, has now turned into blubber. So stay humble. Stay humble. Stay humble. All the fancy footwork that he did on that sideline, all the fancy footwork that she did on that sideline, all of it. Stay humble. There are going to be fakers and liars that come in your life. They're going to say all kinds of things about you. Stay humble. Stay grounded. Remember the goal. Remember number 52 is coming. Remember, you may not know exactly how he gonna look, how she gonna look, but you remember. Be cognizant of all the flattery, all the how wonderful you are. Oh, how beautiful you look today. Oh, you're just the best. Oh, I really like you. Remember that all that flattery, the tongues of the flattering people, the word tells us to be cautious of that, to look out when everybody loves you. When everybody loves you, when everybody loves you, stay humble. Stay humble. When people doubt you, stay humble. When people tell you bad things about others that you don't see, stay humble. Remember that those that come around you to talk about others is going to talk about you. Remember that those who come around you to talk about others is setting you up. Those that come around you with lies and dissension, they'll do the same to you. You must stay humble. You must remember who you serve. Because the liars that don't even have happiness in their own households always seem to have the most time on their hands, even though they may have a husband or a wife. You know why they got time on their hands? Because that spouse finds a reason to leave her chattering mouth in the house by herself. The reason why he got time on his hands is because his wife finds a reason to let him have all the time he needs, because they've taken a vow and they don't want to be around that person because they know all this person does is find fault in everybody. That husband sits there and he watches that wife run down one friend to the next. He shakes his head because all he needed was a couple of seconds to slip into the kitchen to make himself another chicken sandwich and get another beer out the refrigerator. And he knows that as long as she's in there running her mouth, talking about somebody else, she ain't bothering him. So he lets her do all that as he tips to the kitchen, gets the chicken, takes the sandwich out, takes all the sandwich bread and gets the lettuce, the tomatoes, and the onions and mustard. And he's sitting in there thinking, oh my goodness, I'm almost done. And she's still in the living room running her mouth about everybody else. And then when she gets off this phone call, he thinks to himself, talking to Betty Sue, she's going to get on another phone call and go call the other friend and talk about what Betty Sue said about the other friend that they were just talking about. Man, if she keeps this up, I'll be well into the end of this game. And after he eats all of his food, she comes into the room. He's happy because the game is over. He's got his feet lifted up in the recliner and he's relaxing. And here come your big mouth. Hey, wake up. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what. And then she said, and then I said, you literally create trouble where there is none. You go from one person to the next. That's all you know how to do, is go from one person to the next person. And each one of these people, whether you know it or not, can't stand you because they know in their heart, because you're a bully, right? You're a bully. But they know in their heart that you're only going to, you pretend you're nice to them for a second so that they really like you because you're outgoing. And what happens? What happens is they sit there and they listen. And they listen. And they listen to what you're saying. But because you are nice and because you're the popular girl, you're really the mean girl. You're really the mean girl. They think that for that second, you're their friend. And all you've done is surround yourself with people who are malleable, people who can be manipulated by your witchcraft. That's all you do. You go from one person to the next. And your poor husband, he will never admit it, but he is glad those people sit as the useful idiots they are on the telephone with you. That they usually will talk to you at the grocery store in the lane for hours. Meanwhile, he gets what he's getting and goes and sits in the car because this is who you are. And because he doesn't say anything, you think he's totally happy with it, but you don't really know what he does when he leaves, when he gets away from you. You don't really know that he actually pushes the dates that he has to get someplace back. He tells you that he needs to be there at 10 because he really needs to be there at 1, but he needs 3 hours away from you. You know I'm telling the truth. Are you that woman? Are you that man who is so busy digging into everybody else's life that the people that you sucked into cannot get away from you? Are you that person? That your family members know who you are and how you are, but because all they let you do is run your jibs, you don't know what they really think about you. Most of them are afraid of you because you're a bully. Most of them didn't even want to dislike that family member that you made everybody dislike. But most of them just figure, okay, well, that's just who she is. That's just who he is. I'll let him be. You go from person to person. Every new love interest that your nephews bring around, you pull her to the side and you want to talk to her and tell her about all the family members in the family, about what this one does wrong and what that one does wrong and how this one can't be trusted, and make sure you stay away from this one or that one. But the truth is, you are that person. You that person. You want to get up and you want to tell every single body about every single body. You know everything. Everything a person's been through, you've been through it. Every single thing the person's experienced, you've experienced it. Well, why is that? It's because of the fact that you've learned to become everything to everybody so that they can come into your snare. You are a witch. You are a warlock. Sir, madam, you are a warlock. You get involved in every single step of the way. Everything, every new thing that you get involved in, you become immersed in it. And then you drag everybody with you. People who just wanted to be in the family, dating the young guy, here you come giving them all the bad news about all the family members, and you're giving them your version. But because you're a bully, ain't nobody in the family gonna say nothing. They just gonna let you be. Every new group that you get involved in, you're the first one there. Every new group, you become a part of a book club. You're the first one there every Wednesday. First one there. First one to finish the book. First one to answer the questions to the moderator while the moderator is in the bookstore. And right there in the bookstore, they're talking about the book, and you're the first person to raise your hand and tell them, oh yes, and then Bob and Betty did this in chapter 2. And I was wondering in chapter 3, do you know what's going on in chapter 3? Can you tell me what you think about chapter 3? What I thought about chapter 3, and everybody else who just wanted to join the book club is sitting there, and every Wednesday night that book club gets a little more empty. And the person leading the book club is looking like, wow, I did this so that we could all read the books together and to become a little closer. But now all I'm stuck with is you and 2 other people. But you're not bad. You just absorb everything. And the person that's leading the book club does not even know that you took a book and you created your own book club of the exact same people in the book club. You made your own book club with those people in the book club. And you come to this book club so that you can snatch people out the book club and take them with you to your book club. But they don't really like you. So they showed up once. They came to your book club one time. One time they came. And you only saw them that one time. But funny, you don't see them at the main book club no more. Why? Because they know you're there. Although there have been a couple of them that have decided, I really did like that that book club, and the person who was leading the book club, she or he, they come up with all these great books all the time. They come up with these great books, and some of the books that I've read in the past, and I just thought it would be great to go. So what I do now is on Wednesday, I end up getting there a little bit earlier, and I see whose cars are parking into the parking lot outside of the library, outside of the bookstore. I sit there and I wait. And when I see that person's car, I turn around and I go home. Yeah, that's what you've done. Because you are a busybody. You've itching ears. And those who are led away by you are going to pay as well. Because you have itching ears, and you have caused dissension. You have caused confusion. Is that you? Do you do that? So now what you do at the book club is you come in there with a Groucho Marx nose on with a set of eyeglasses. You come in there with a little hat. Okay? You come in there with a little hat. And then you put on a go-go gadget or a raincoat. Put on a go-go gadget trench coat. Sit in the very back and hope that nobody notices you, so that you can see who came to the book club when you wasn't looking. Who had the audacity? Who had the audacity to defy you with your manipulative and conniving self that your husband don't even like, that your wife cannot even stand, but because they understand covenant and they took one with you, they are stuck. Is that you? Do you do that? Do you show up at the book club? Do you show up at the book club dressed up like Inspector Gadget? Do you? Because everybody know who you are. Are you number 52 on the slide? Is that you? Is that you? Again? That trick will never work. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Hey, Bullwinkle, that will never work. Woo. I appreciate you guys. Just coming in, having a conversation, just checking on you. That's all. How are you doing? How are y'all doing? How is everybody? How is everybody? Elizabeth Summers. You know, Aurora Borealis, if you're still here, hello. The spirit of discernment is something that needs to be sharpened in all of us. That gut feeling that we get needs to be sharpened in all of us. Responding responsively, responding appropriately to the spirit of discernment is something that needs to be practiced. The next time you feel like you should have gone left and you went right, next time you're supposed to go right and you literally go left. Remember that gut feeling that told you to go right that you did not do. Remember. Okay? Remember that when you went left, remember the aftermath of going left. Remember that. Because when you went left, there was something that says go right. And you went left. I want you to remember that gut feeling. That's how you learn how to sharpen your spirit, the spirit of discernment. That's how you learn to sharpen it. Remember the last bad experience that you had. Okay? Remember the last bad experience that you had. Yes, remember it. Okay? I want you to remember it. Because when you remember the last bad experience that you had, I want you to get out a pad, and I want you to get out a piece of a pen, get the pad and get a pen, and I want you to write it down. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Okay, go sit down. I want you to do that. Sure, you can have this. I want you to write it down, and I want you to remember that feeling that you had. And then the next time something happens, I want you to write down that feeling that you had. With every warning that you've experienced, I want you to, for yourself, write it down. Okay? And then I want you to start to match stuff up. Okay? Because for those of us who are led by our Father, for those of us who are led by Him, He gives you warning. He gives you warning. Okay? Mars Fool's Gold says, God lost in snowy mountains the other day. Praise Yah, as it was awesome, peaceful, an awesome and peaceful experience. Hallelujah. But the next time you feel that gut telling us something, I want you to write that down from the last time it happened. Last time it happened, write that down. Remember that feeling. Then I want you to think back at another time where you made something, you did the wrong thing, and you then end up ruining the day. Remember that how you said, you know what, something told me to do this. Something told me that was going on. Something told me. Write that feeling down. Write down how that something feeling went. I'm teaching you how to sharpen that gift. Write it down. When you are doing fine and somebody comes into your world and gives you mess and tries to bring you confusion, you done took your time and you've joined that book club. And here they come, bringing you mess, bringing you lies. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they want to become your friend, and you don't even know why. They want to become your friend. And then all of a sudden, they really reveal to you what their true goal is. And their true goal is to bring confusion in your life. Their true goal is to cause you to become derailed. When you hang up the phone with them, you feel a little dirty. When you come away from dealing with them, you feel like, ew, should I feel bad about that conversation I just had? Why am I feeling, because I just don't think that, something about him, something about her. I listened to what they had to say, but I really don't, that's not really how I feel, but I listened, but for some reason, I just feel a little dirty having spoken to them. It's number 52. But they came dressed up a little different. They came like Gen G say. Number 52 dressed up as Inspector Gadget. Okay? Y'all got to look out for the number 52s in your life. Because they come with different agendas. And they do put on different disguises based on the lesson that is before you. Number 52 comes in all shapes, all sizes, all genders, all circumstances. Remember, you have an enemy. And the enemy is cunning and wise, and he knows how to shapeshift into a human being with a pleasant face, with some jeans on and some slip-on candies. Some slip-on high-heel candy shoes. Shapeshifted, number 52. Little old bitty thing, too. 5'5", 122 pounds. Yeah. But it could have took the life out that cat, right? 5'5", 122 pounds. Perkiness up to the chin. Okay? Yeah. But it could have took the life out of that cat. But if it was not for his chaste wife, his wife being attached to the word, being attached to life, being attached to Yah, listening to her great-grandmama, unlike number 52's grandmama, told her to go out there and sow a wild oats and spread it and butterfly it. If you do the butterfly just right, you can get any man you want, she said. Yeah. Yeah. So, with all of that in mind, I'll leave with you this. Be careful who you trust. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you allow around you. And I don't mean to be careful to the point of fear. I mean use wisdom with who you allow around you. Be careful who you called friend. Yes. Yes. That's right. Be careful who attempts to befriend you, who comes dressed like Inspector Gadget, but they're really number 52. Be careful. You don't need that many new friends, do you? Do you need a lot of new friends? Do you really need a lot of new people around you? It was an old rap song. No new friends. Sometimes it's better to just stick with the repertoire of loved ones and friends that you have. Discernment. Being able to see. Being able to see. Being able to see. Being able to see. And I see. Trust and believe I see. I see. I see a lot. Hallelujah. Glory to Yah. Glory. Glory. Hallelujah. All right, you guys. You got to be more careful, right, Aurora? Got to be more careful. Right, Marty? We got to be more careful. Right, Melinda? Yeah. It's my brother Anthony. Mars Fool's Gold, a familiar face. Mars Fool's Gold, a familiar face. I love you, brother. Glad you are here. Genji, you still here? What's good? Yeah? Yeah. Angela Reed, how are you? How are you? My super mod, Rachel, how are you? My armor bearer still here, Sandy. I know you peek in and peek out. Do what you want in your house. Do what you want in your house. If you ain't got no house, go get one. And then do what you want in your house. Say what you want to say in your house. If you ain't got one, go get one and then say what you want in your house. Live how you want to live in your house. And if you don't got one, go get a house and then live how you want to live in your house. But make sure that when you do what you do, like you want to do, that you do it in your house. And if you ain't got no house, you need to go get one and do what you want to do while you in there. That way you ain't got to explain why you say what you say, you do what you do what you want in your house, because it's yours. You ain't got to explain nothing, because it's yours. But what you don't do is you don't go to somebody else's house and tell them or those in that house how the master of the house should do what you should say and do the way you want them to do it today. They should listen to you because you've been everywhere, a busybody in everybody's business. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for spending the last 1 hour and 34 minutes with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every one of you. Thank you. I want you to remember what we always say here on this channel. That man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves, and you take care of one another. Until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way, helping you to make it through another day.